They haven't been trained to think about it. So they don't know those numbers. So they're just pricing based on, like, I guess, vibes.
Today I'm talking with Camille Freeman, herbalist, nutritionist, and business mentor for integrative health practitioners, who describe what she sees with most new practitioners in 3 words: pricing based on
So
vibes.
why don't you just start with telling me like who you are and what you do in your own words so that I'm not getting it just from your website copy, which is great, but
Yeah.
maybe different than what's on your mind right now these days.
Yeah. So I kind of started out as an herbalist and nutritionist doing private one-on-one work with people. And I was also a university professor teaching graduate students how to be nutritionists, et cetera. And then about, I don't know, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that, I basically realized that people need a little bit more help in the back end of people who are going to school, getting trained as practitioners, and then getting out there and not doing very well, floundering on the business side. So I essentially kind of changed my business model a little bit to do more mentoring and support continuing education for people who are out there. Like, they've done the training, they've graduated, they're trying to be clinicians, and then they're just like, where are all my clients?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm
Yeah.
doing now.
Well, and I would say I feel like this is just a problem really with the way our education is structured in the United States for sure, and maybe around the world. Everybody I meet is a great practitioner at what they do, but nobody's taught how to run a business, myself included. Like, people think accountants can run businesses. No, we can just analyze everybody else's business. So I've floundered
Yeah.
running a business too, and so I love that you've recognized that and you've kind of pivoted to help people who help people, right? Like, I feel like that makes your impact even bigger because you couldn't help all the people one on one that now all your clients are helping. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So, what would you say? Like, let's just think first in terms of daily operations. What are the most significant hurdles that, like I said, either you face or that you see your clients facing running a smooth practice?
Yeah, it's kind of different, I think, for me versus my clients. And it's funny, I just from 12 to 1 today, I had a call with my normal group of people who are in my other practitioners who are in my program. And we had a specific call focused on looking at the numbers for your practice. And because people are like, Camille, I did my taxes for last year and I'm not making any money. Like, it's not, the money is not moneying up. So we just had like a very basic call about, like, okay, I mean, we talked about profit first. I'm like, hey, you need to cut in half what you're making, and that's how much you're paying yourself. And then you need to plan, like, okay, how many clients can you see in a week? What do you need to charge them? And these are the stumbling blocks because people first, they haven't thought about this. They haven't been trained to think about it. So they don't know those numbers. So they're just pricing based on, like, I guess, vibes, like whatever it seems like a good price to charge would be. And then if they have figured out a pricing model that works, they're like, great, I need to have 10 clients at $250 each, but I have currently 0 clients at $0 each. So those are the biggest things. First of all, just figuring out what to charge to make a reasonable, livable wage. And then second of all, how do you find the people that can pay that money or that want to pay you that money? I think those are the biggest things people are facing in my.
Yeah, so the marketing aspect of it really is the operations piece.
I think so, finding the people and even foundational things like explaining what you do in a way that makes sense to people, where they're like, I would like that. You know?
Yeah. Or at least they're willing to ask a question rather than just like totally zone out on what you're doing and not understand it at all. Makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense. Well, my
Yeah.
second question was, what are the biggest financial challenges that you're currently
Oh,
facing, seeing? Which it's totally fine that you went towards taxes because I mean, that is the time of year we're in. Everybody's feeling that tax crunch of like either, yeah, now's the first time I've looked at my finances and I'm not making money, or I owe taxes. I was profitable and I don't have the money to pay it. Are you seeing any of that
mhm.
or anything else?
It's certainly that comes up, and people aren't necessarily putting aside the right amount. I'm also seeing people where, like, I think the last 2 years have been for people who've been in business for a while, at least in my field, they've been tough the last 2 years. So I've also found that some people are actually over withholding right now because income is down.
Mm,
And so, I mean, that can be pleasant surprise at this time of year, but ultimately not what you really want to hear.
Yeah, it kind of means the business is shrinking and most of us want to be expanding our businesses. So yeah, it's not news you want. And I am always of the opinion, like, let's do that analysis at least every quarter so that we can adjust. And I'd rather have the money in my pocket all year long rather than sitting in a tax account or something like that. So yeah, it makes sense.
Right. Ah,
Yeah. So switching gears a little bit, are there any emerging trends that you feel like are having, or what's the one that's having the most significant impact on your business or your clients' businesses?
a lot of my people are in the DC area. And
Mm,
I think it right now, this moment in time, things are very precarious around here.
yeah.
So I think what a lot of people are finding is that their clients are losing their jobs or they feel nervous about their jobs or the economy or whatever else. And so it's been, I think some of the higher budget items have been a little trickier to sell. And so I am seeing people are needing to adjust based on that. And then the other thing I'm noticing, sorry, my dog is making an appearance here. Um,
Totally fine.
the,
Why
but
this
the
is
other
just for us.
thing, yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay. But the other thing I'm noticing is that I still think that even though it's been so long, I think people are still rebounding from pandemic Zoom fatigue. And there's like a real hunger for in-person, real time. Like nobody wants to watch the recording of anything. And so I am finding that people are like, people want to do in-person classes and groups and they want to meet in person and they want to be there live if you're teaching a class, not have access forever to the recordings or whatever. So that's an interesting thing too. I really do think that's post-pandemic. Just get me off my screen a little bit and let me do
Yeah,
something.
I would
Yeah.
say I've heard that from several people while we've been doing this series about in-person events. It's interesting the replays. I've not heard that so much. Maybe that's just my own. I would rather watch a replay because I can
Me too.
double speed it.
Yeah, the 2X. You got to go the
I
2X.
can skip through the fluff at the beginning and the end and just get the meat.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like a group, I'm seeing in our clients, and I want that real time in person connection because you're just not getting that. I just don't feel like you get it on a Zoom webinar either, right? And so that's where I'm
Yeah.
like, give me the webinar a day later and I'll watch it faster. But
Yeah.
if I'm going to get to actually participate, and we have some clients who have been leading some phenomenal retreats and taking people
Mm.
away. And so I'm still not sure if it's post pandemic or if it's just a different generation of people who are
Yeah, maybe that's
buying.
it.
It's
Yeah.
both.
Well, and to be clear, people still want the replay because they want to squirrel it away. But when I look at numbers, because I do a lot of online classes, and when I look at the numbers of how many people actually watch the replay, it's very low versus how it was before. So they still want to think that they have it, but are they going to actually watch it? Mm, mm,
Probably not. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
No, that makes sense. So, do you have any thoughts specifically around AI and how that is impacting your clients or businesses?
Yeah, I am not on social media. So I'm a
Hmm.
big newsletter person. Like my whole business runs on my newsletter, basically. And so I have feelings. I have feelings about newsletters. I have thoughts about them. I wrote a whole book about them last year just so I could stop repeating myself about newsletters for everybody. I'm like,
Yeah.
so, and the reason I'm talking about this is because I have recently, and I subscribe to a lot of practitioner newsletters just so I can keep in touch with people and see what's going on and all this. But in the last few months, I keep getting what is clearly AI generated newsletters, just from individuals, not even from companies. I'm like, great, whatever, but from people who are trying to do one-on-one businesses. And I'm like, this is, you didn't even try to make it seem like this wasn't written by ChatGPT. And I don't want to receive that. I don't want to read that. I don't care what ChatGPT has to say about nutrition or whatever, because it's half of it's wrong and it's all like, no fluff, no mess, just clear nutrition guidance. Like, please.
But I
So
have a method.
like, so I guess I'm not anti-AI, and I actually find that from a money angle, one of the big things for new practitioners, because what we have to take notes for for our EMR, all that, but then we also have to write up the notes for the client, like what to do. And the new practitioners, they spend so long I'm like, you are spending 5 hours on a new client and you're getting paid $150. You cannot make a living like that. You've got to streamline. And like AI does a really good job taking
Yeah.
notes. Like it really does. And I wish it didn't, but that is the truth. And like it is worth considering if you want to streamline and like look at your hourly rate, might be worth looking at. But I'm so not into AI writing anything that's supposed to be helping your clients or potential clients get to know you. Because I'm like, it's a one-on-one relationship-based business. And if AI is writing this for you, like it's nobody wants a relationship with AI. I mean, maybe some people do, I don't know, but
Some people supposedly do, yes.
yeah, not like not your client,
Not
hopefully.
your client.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
for
that's how I
sure.
feel. What do you think about AI?
Yeah, I was similar. I would say I don't feel like I'm a great writer myself, so I do use it more to bring clarity to what I'm saying, right? But I do put in the effort to like, here's what I want to say and like make sure it still sounds like me. And then, yeah, there are definitely tasks that I'm like, I don't like the idea of it taking jobs. I really struggle with how many people are going to lose jobs. It's going to affect, like, we do a lot of bookkeeping. They are out for us next, you know? And so
Mm,
that's, I mean, we've been doing profit coaching along with the bookkeeping for 10 years. They're not coming for that yet. So I'm not really worried about our main product line, service offering, but just jobs in general. I just see them. I have two kids who are in college. I'm like, I don't know what you're gonna do.
right.
That
Yeah.
would scare me. But then I do see the tasks that like I just wasn't getting done. It wasn't that I was delegating it and now I'm gonna delegate it to I just wasn't happening. And I'm like, well, if AI can help me with those things, or like you were saying, the things that are taking 5 hours that can now take 5 minutes or an hour. I mean,
Yeah.
let's use it for those types of things, I think. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what are the good use cases and what is not good.
Yeah, exactly. It's a and I feel like it's evolving. The whole thing's evolving. Yeah.
Faster than we know, I think, but it's been fascinating to watch. So, are there any particular business strategies or mentorship opportunities that you're either excited about what you're offering or that you're seeing your clients really get excited about starting soon?
Let's see, this offerings. The thing that I found really helpful, what, 5 or 6 years ago, I took some time off from my practice when my kids were little, and I decided to rejoin. They got older, and I was like, okay, I think I have some capacity now. And I decided to go back into practice, and I was like, I would like to talk to someone. Like, I would like to run these things by other people. And so I just started a group of practitioners to just share business stuff, client cases, and that has really been transformational. But it's not really a business opportunity, but just the being around other people who are engaged in the same work and trying to help each other, I found there's just not a replacement for that. So I'm a big fan of the community of practice or even accountability groups and things like that, where it's just like, I don't know, I've been reflecting a lot on how when you're in school, you're in consumption mode. You're like, let me just learn and take in and let me just stop up as much as I can. And then I feel like once you go into business and you're out there in the world, if you don't switch that off, then you're constantly just taking classes and trying to figure out the right way to do it. I'm like, no, at a certain point, you got to not stop learning, but stop consuming everything and start doing. And I guess that's my biggest thing I'm thinking about right now is like, how do we get people to switch out of that like take mode and into like, let me just try
Yeah.
it out. Let me see what's going to work for me and then talk about it and change based on what I see. And, um,
Yeah.
get out of that mindset that somebody's going to tell you the right thing to do. Because I'm like,
Mm,
oh, that's not how it's like parenting. I'm like, that's not how this works. It's not what's happening.
so
Yeah.
true. Yeah, and I always think it's interesting. I mean, I'm imagining you have people maybe who even come to you, like, tell me what to do. We have people that come to us, they're like, tell me what to do. And I'm like, but what worked for me is not going to work for you, is not going to work for the next person because we all have our own personality that we're putting on it and our own spin. And so you have to figure out what's going to work for you. And that's where I really encourage like a mindset of really experimentation, right? I'm like, and I think could be really interesting for people who have like some of that medical science background. Like, what's the hypothesis? Let's go test it, see if it's going to work, and then shift gears if it doesn't, or go
Yeah.
faster if it does, right? Because that's the whole scientific method. So yeah,
And
that's just freeing for me.
it kills me too. I had somebody a couple months ago who came to me for some business help, and she was like, "Oh, I want more clients." And I said, "What have you been doing already to try to get clients?" Because she'd been trying for years. And she was like, "Oh, well, I've been posting on social media Instagram 3 times a week, and then I do this podcast." And I was like, "Oh, well, how many clients are you getting from that?" And she was like, "None." And I was like, "Oh, but you've been doing it for 2 years." Like, at a certain point, we have to
Aren't you
say, like, this
exhausted?
isn't working. Maybe I should try something different. So that's where I'm like, oh, we got to have those stop points where we're evaluating, like, should I keep doing this? Is this worth the time that it's taking me? Because if it's
Right.
not, like, how about we don't keep going for 2 years?
Yeah, yeah, that's a long time.
I
And
know.
exhausting.
I know. I know.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
so thinking about goals and the fact that we need to reevaluate our goals when we set them and see how they're working, like what are you hearing as some of your clients' biggest goals for growth and development as they look to the next rest of this year, I guess?
Yeah, well, I guess on the tail of that conversation that I just had with a lot of my people,
Yeah.
I think people are looking to just figure out how to bring in new clients in this particular environment, ecosystem, whatever it is that's going on in the
Mhm.
world right now. Because I think people are wanting to adjust themselves to what's happening. They're wanting to treat people thoughtfully and be cognizant that, things are hard out there and people are going through a lot, but also like we still need to make a living. And so I think people have genuine important things to offer. And like, how do we show up in our communities in ways that are appropriate and helpful and moving the world in the direction we want it to go?
Yeah. Well, and I think we need even more of the direction that we all want to take the world. It's like it's more necessary now than it was even 10 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe, because of all the,
Yeah.
we need more of the health and wellness in the world because we're just not getting it. And there's so many struggles or so much tension in the world. We need a place to be healthy and to release it and all of that. So that's why I love working with this community of people, right? Because like that's what I said earlier. You and your clients are just helping so many people that just need the help, right? And yeah, such good work. So, is there anything else that you feel like you should share today?
No, I guess just I'm a really big fan of the just like the profit first architecture because I wish that that was just the framework, just the basic breakdown was taught to people because I think that if you start there and you go and I always feel like I'm giving people a really unpleasant eye opening when I tell them about the 50% part because it's just like a gut punch if you are thinking my business made $1,000 and I made $1,000. I'm like, I wish that we just all started out with that foundational like estimate
Yeah.
and be like, okay, maybe it's not exactly that for everybody, but that's where we need to be ballparking when we're thinking about this. I mean, I didn't find out about it till I've been in practice for probably 15 years. And I was like, oh, this is great. This is good
Yeah.
to know about.
Yeah.
Would have been
I
nice.
was the same. I was 5 years into business, and I had a tax bill that I couldn't pay as an accountant. And I tell people, I'm like, that's like going to an overweight doctor. Like, you just don't feel great about it. The only thing is I could hide that. Like, the only way you knew I didn't pay my tax bill is if I tell you. And now I do. I tell people, like, nobody gets it right. Nobody is taught that. And yeah, I'm the same way. I wish I had had it very early on because I would not have gotten that place, but I've
Yeah.
learned.
You're like a lot of fumbling around, a lot of fumbling around.
Which is like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's 80% of business is like we said earlier, just what's the hypothesis, test it out and figure out what's after that. But I would rather not do that with my money. There are ways to be smarter.
It seems
So,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
awesome. Well, this has been super fun. I really enjoyed the conversation today.
Perfect. Wonderful. Well, thanks so much. It was lovely to chat with you, and we'll kind of go from there.
Thanks for listening to Behind the Numbers. If today's conversation resonated with you, subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss a new episode every week. And if you're a health or wellness business owner who's ever wondered what's really going on behind your own numbers, I'd love to talk. Head to fitforprofit.com to learn more or book a complimentary clarity call. We'll see you next week.